Hi. So, who are these women behind me? Any idea why I have them in the picture? If you were in Zoom within the last couple of weeks, you probably actually do have an idea of who they are, or at least what they do. They're referred to as computers. That's their job. Their job is to be a computer. So, what is that all about? Well, this week in computer history, we're going to go way, way, way back, like kind of in the beginning. And we're going to move so far forward that we're almost there. What's that all about? I guess you're going to have to check out the resources to find out. So why don't I jump into Zoom? We have kind of it's a short week, but it's not really a short week because it's the same 7 days we have every other week, right? But there's going to be a creative activity for you to do. There's going to be an interactive um, lecture, I guess, if you want to call it. And let's show you what that's all about. So over in Moodle, we've got the title. Our chapter this week is chapter 8, and it's actually called the ICT industry. And so you might be asking yourself, like, what's ICT? Like, what's that all about? Who even knows, right? And so I pulled up a definition for you. Well, I did a Google search, right? Which is what, if you ask me the question, that's what I would do, is a Google search. So information and communication technology. And basically, it's all the services that are put together to transmit information and communication. And that's how the internet started anyhow, was a way to communicate amongst different constituent groups that needed to work together. So ICT, information and communication technology. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that through the lens of where have we been, where are we now, and where are we going? That'll give you the whole idea. As always, start off with the checklist. You're already watching the video, so kudos for that. Let me jump down here, and you'll notice I've consolidated our headings just a little bit. So we have think and learn together, and you'll see why in just a second. And then we have the do part, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So on think and learn, you've got a link to a slideshow. Now, here's my recommendation is to open it up directly because there's a lot of embedded videos in this slideshow. And this isn't just a look at the pretty picture type of slideshow. This is going to actually take you through all kinds of stuff. But when you click on it, you're going to notice this, especially if you watch this slideshow within Moodle, like where it was originally, you might not actually get the audio on the videos, which, is kind of a bummer because then you can't hear what they're saying. So my recommendation is, these are just a couple of tech tips, is open it up in its own browser window. That usually solves the problem. But if for some reason, and Chrome is kind of bad about this, if for some reason your browser isn't playing the audio and you've got your sound on and everything works and you can play other stuff, whatever, just try another browser. Okay, there's lots of other options. Most people already have more than one. Try Firefox or Safari or Opera or Brave, like whatever your favorite browser is, try one and see if that does the job for you. I'm gonna make sure you can hear the videos. And so you're gonna start this slideshow off with a table of contents. You can jump around if you want, but this is kind of the order that makes at least chronological sense. But you can always come back here if you want to dig in a little deeper. And I'll give you an idea. I'm just going to go a couple of slides. Well, let's jump. There's so many interesting things here. So we're going to start off with this video. And here's what I mean about the embedded videos. So you can watch them right here within the slide. Some of them might open up in a new tab, in a new browser tab. But just make sure you can hear it. And this talks about why computer science is such a big deal in the first place. And then you're just going to keep going through. And I told you, man, we start way back in the beginning. And there's that word again, algorithm. We've been talking about algorithms a lot in the last several weeks. So most videos will have a link down below where you can watch the video, but you can also watch them here. Either way, so the binary hand dance, that might actually be something that gets you some extra credit. If you can do the binary hand dance, make a video of it and share it with us. So again, I'm not going to go through this whole slideshow. Just know that there's a lot of interactivity. So this isn't just about an abacus. This is how to count on an abacus. That one's really short. The fun one, though, however, This guy here, the longer fun version, he shows how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide on an abacus, which I happen to have. Hang on 1 second. Right here. Whoops, you can't even see it probably because of the weird back. There we go. If I get it at just the right angle. So I have my abacus here, and it looks just like the one that guy uses. I'm pretty close in his video. So let me jump back to the table of contents. I'll jump forward just a minute. We're going to look at some generations of computers. And you've probably heard of first generation, second generation, third generation, etc., right? Or you may not have. But this will explain what that's all about. And as you go through, it'll give you kind of a short chart of the characteristics, but then it's going to show you a video from that era about that era. So I find these absolutely fascinating. Not everybody might find them fascinating, but I find them fascinating. One more jump back to the table of contents. I'm going to jump to early electronics. I am jumping around a little bit, but I'm going to send you on a scavenger hunt. And there's 5 different things here, 5 different machines. And I want you to go find out. And honestly, look at the Wikipedia page. It'll take you like 5 minutes to do this. But see how much information you can get. Who created it, when it was developed, what was its purpose, and where was it located? And the reason for that is because there's a common theme to how these were all developed, or why these were all developed. These were all developed in a certain era for certain purposes that have something in common. See if you can figure out what that is. And if you try to just slide through ahead, don't do it. Do the activity first, but then there'll be some information about that. So that's going to be your computer history slideshow. That'll be really interesting, I think. I love watching all the videos. There's a video in there that is one of the very first viral videos. And there's 2 versions. One version is a little choppy because it really is like an original video. And the second version is the same video, but enhanced. So it's easier to see. I have seen this video hundreds of times, and it makes me just laugh every time. So I'm not sure what that says about me. When you watch the video, you can let me know and see what you think. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here. There's a couple of assignments. One is a quiz for the chapter. One is to sign up for a Zoom session, week 14 Zoom session, which will be next week. But this last one is the movie review project. And this is something we had opened, like 2 weeks ago, right? So you could pick your movie. So this will look a little bit different than what you saw before. It's got a little bit of more information on here. You can open these slides in a new browser window. There's an overview video on there that where I talk through what the project is and give you all the details. Or you can just click through the slides right here if you want. It's the same thing, but it's smaller. So I always recommend opening the window much bigger. Like I would open it full screen and look. And again, this has a roadmap. I'm not going to go through all of this because in that overview video right there, right here, it tells you all the details. So there's no point in me telling you that now. So that's right here. And that's something you're going to submit to your team channel. Now let me back up because there's one more big thing. We have the last part of reliable sources. This opened last week. Okay. So you've already had a week. My recommendation is to look at the assignment. So if you scroll down here, you'll see the project document. There's a formatting example. So if you kind of copy the formatting example, delete out all my stuff, it'll give you almost like a checklist to make sure you fill in all the pieces from your previous assignments. And if you didn't do some of the previous assignments, you are more than welcome to still do this assignment. You just won't have the benefit of all the feedback that everybody got on all the previous ones. And you won't get those points. So there's that. But this one's worth over 200 points because you're pulling all these pieces together. So make sure you pay attention here. Make sure you've shared a Google Doc. Like people are still having issues sharing things, and I'm not sure why, because we're in week 14 and we share stuff all the time. Make sure you're paying attention. Share it with Debbie K at Gmail with editor permissions, and then in general access, share it with anyone with a link can view. Same thing every time, okay? And you're gonna upload the PDF here. Then your jump menu, which some people have totally done, but now you got the final document, so you can make the final link on your jump menu, go back and do one of them and then copy it into all 5 documents, because, or whichever documents you have, because I will be going back and forth between your different documents to see if you took the formatting feedback and the advice I gave you for how to make improvements. So I'll compare it against your original and go back to this final bibliography. And hopefully you've taken advantage of that. And so this is kind of a long assignment. This is going to be a long assignment. Check your formatting. Some of you are playing with the page list format that's on the file menu, file menu, page setup, page list format, which is how most of my assignments are set up. You'll notice there's no page breaks like on the reliable source document. That's because that's how I've set it up. So if you want to try that, go ahead. Just make sure there's no like, one sentence hanging on the top or bottom of a page. Anyhow, well, I've talked to a lot of people about that. But here's the important thing. We're down to the wire. We are down to just a few weeks left. I am not going to take any late assignments on this. Things at this point have to be turned in on time. I can't take them because, we're running out of time, and this assignment takes a long time to grade. You saw how long it took for the submit one. This one's even bigger. So it takes a lot of time. Anyhow, that's where we're at this week. That's what we're doing. We have the movie review, and if you already started the part 5 of reliable sources, you're ahead of the game. So that's really good. And that's about it. So have fun exploring computer history. Don't skip over that part, because I think you'll be surprised at where things came from. And there's an interview with a quantum computer scientist or quantum computer programmer that I did at Computer or Consumer Electronics Show, 2 years ago, a couple of years ago. And he's really interesting. He's got a big weird mohawk thing. But boy, he talks about quantum computing and shows how it works in a really interesting way. So you got to go through the slideshow to find that. Have a really great week, and we'll see you on the other side in Zoom next week.